Hi, it's me again. As promised, here's part 2 of last show. This is some more CDs I got off Metal Mickey and Cloudy Moulder, and I'm just going to skim through some of them for the simple reason is Metal Mickey has already talked about them on his last video because he's got the tapes of them, so he talked about them. So I'm not going to talk too much about the CDs he talked about. So without any further ado, this is what I got off Metal Mickey. This is Bad English. Quite like this band. It's a bit on the slushy side for me, but I think the keyboard player used to be in Journey. There again, this is another classic sort of rock metal band that didn't sort of do much. They only made a couple of albums, I think. But yeah, it's a good CD. But it's sort of one for late at night. It doesn't sort of set my heart racing, if you know what I mean. If you're into some Danish metal, and I'm not talking about Merciful Fate, this is Disneyland After Dark, or better known as Dad's 4th album. Never heard it, so I'm not going to talk about it, but I've got another one to my collection of Dad. These are pretty decent band. I've listened to another CD I've got, and they are good, very good. The next one, Damn Yankees debut album. Scott Waters shows a lot of these on his channel because he's a big Ted Nugent fan. But again, because Metal Mickey's talked about them, I'm not going to talk much about them. And it's the same with the next two as well. Kingdom Come, they've got a reputation of being a bit of a Led Zeppelin clone band. There's a track list in there. Again, I'm not going to talk too much about them. Sorry about my voice, but it's still recovering from last week. And that's another Kingdom Come CD as well. Look out for these because I'll do a watch spinning and talk about these more in depth and see if I agree. But a lot of the 70s bands, especially on the Atlantic label, were a bit Led Zeppelin cloney, because I read about somewhere that when after Zeppelin, I think split up in 77, around about that time, that Atlantic would only sign rock bands that sounded like Zeppelin. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. But Kingdom Come, I think they're on Polydor. So I'll give them a listen to and report back anyway. The next record, I don't know, it's one of these, I don't know if I'm going to keep or not. Hang on a second. Yeah, I don't know if I'll keep this. This is Heart. I think they did, We Built This City, was that it, or something else? But I think this will be passed on to somebody. There's one record, whether it's the early Heart, because I just bought this one to give them a chance. I've got a feeling I'm not going to like this, but you got to give things a chance in life. The next lot, Vixen, fantastic female band, been going since forever. Again, they didn't do much. I think it was 4 albums they made. I've got the first 3. Also, I didn't buy one of these off Metal Mickey, but I've got 2 versions of Rev It Up now. So this is the first Vixen album, and if you like the Girls' School, the Runaways, them sort of bands, this will be well up your street. Fantastic. I must stop doing that because I'll switch the computer off. It's right, I put the CD on the computer and I accidentally switch it off. This is the one I've got. This is the one I had. This is the second album, Rev It Up, and this is a different version of it. I'll have to look this up. I think Metal Mickey's one this is, and it's obviously released late or released early or from a different country, but I've got 2 versions of the same album. It's a killer record. If you ever see Vixen, pick them up. Brilliant band. And I've got Tangerine as well. That was their 3rd release, I believe. Again, I must admit I haven't heard this one, but this one looks a bit like an album I'm going to show later. I think this is when they tried to take them into a more poppier sounding band. I could tell that because they're wearing civilian clothes and not wearing the leather. But a lot of these girls bands in the 80s, what they did, they tried to move. Raven was the classic example. Not so much Raven, but what they tried to do was they tried to move them away because they said heavy metal didn't really suit them. More commercial sound, because a lot of bands in the early 80s were like Bon Jovi, that sort of stuff was coming out. It was making more money for the record companies. One of the records I'm going to show is a classic example of that, and that's the reason why I'm going a bit fast. I'm going to spend a bit of the time talking about it. But this record, I've got a feeling they tried it on Vixen. They thought the metal's not making enough money, so we'll try and push them more into the commercial sounding music. The next one's for you Dokken fans, George Lynch. That's his first album with Lynch Mob, Wicked Sensation. I think it's got the drummer Dokken out here anyway. But can't wait to give that a blast, so I'm a big fan of Dokken. Now this is the one I want to talk about. This is Lita Ford's seminal album. And this, what I was talking about earlier on, is a classic example of what happened to this record. Basically, Lita Ford, she was doing a lot of metal, and it wasn't really doing that brilliantly. So she got a new producer. He took her into a studio, and he sort of tried to move her away from that. You've got Nikki Sixx. Well, no, I don't think Nikki Sixx and Lemmy wrote on this record, and "Close My Eyes Forever" was a duet with Ozzy Osbourne. Now the reason why that was because she got Sharon Osbourne as her manager. And that's when things started to go downhill. And yeah, it's a great record. The singles off it, which was "Close My Eyes Forever" and "Kissing Me Deadly," that was, I think, the Nikki Sixx song, and I think Lemmy wrote "Catch Me If I Catch Me," but I may be wrong. But those two were like the big singles, but they didn't do that brilliantly. They only sort of got to number 20 in the charts. But this record is a classic example again, because if you remember the early 80s, women, especially guitarists, heavy metal guitar was a man's world, and it was very, very hard for the women. And then it's not like it is now. And I mean, now people like I've just forgotten the name. My fate, Doro and Lita are sort of metal gods now. But in them days, it was extremely hard. With all the, I don't know what the word is, it's a long word and I can't say it, and it's extremely hard. So the only way they could make money, as I said before, was to get them into the more commercial thing. And this is what basically this record is a more commercial sound. It's a fantastic album. I've got it on vinyl, and you got a nice picture of her back. And Lita Ford was a really, really talented guitarist. In my book, she was definitely equal to some of the men. I wouldn't say the big sort of guitarists like Blackmore, but she was a phenomenal guitarist. She's definitely a guitar god. And incidentally, she was also, I think, seeing Tommy Iommi at this point, Black Sabbath. That's another connection. But yeah, she's definitely, if you haven't discovered Lita, give her a chance. I prefer Doro, but she's my second favourite female singer. And I always pick up records with her on them. They're really good. I hope I've explained that good anyway. Now, the last two, but not least, the Cloudy Moulders CDs. And I want to keep this one to under 10 minutes. The first one is, this is the Ram album. I think it's the second album, I may be wrong. But if you like Judas Priest, you'll love this band. They are very, very good. I think they're Swedish. But if you like the Judas Priest, you'll love this one. And the last but not least is one of my favourite debut albums of all time. I've been trying to get this on. This was on my wants list, but a lot of the other CDs I've shown in the last couple of boxes. But I probably would have sold me left kidney for this one. I've got it on vinyl, and I can tell you it's the debut song. She's got the Highway Star cover from Deep Purple on the back. Check that one out, Greg. You might like that. But I reckon the rest of it might be a bit not in your sort of listening range. But yeah, this is a cracking album, and as I say, I reckon it's, to me personally, it's one of the best debut albums of all time. It's strange because in the UK I was well into tape trading in the 80s, and that's how I discovered Metal Church. And I was always under the impression they were Canadian, Greg, and I never realised they were American until the last 3 or 4 years. We all make them mistakes, but this is if you're starting a heavy metal collection, you've got to buy this. Absolutely fantastic record. There's no bad track on there, and I just love it. It's on the Electro label as well, but it's just killer metal. Anyway, folks, I'm going to keep this one to under 10 minutes because they upload quicker. And I'll bid you farewell. I've just got one message, folks. Love each other. That's all we can do at the moment. Spread the love. There's too much hatred in the world, and we all need love. See ya.